What's going on, guys? Philip at Trade Genius. Got a long-term chart of Bitcoin here, and a technique we're going to cover that was brought to my attention on what's been calling out the time frames for the tops. So it's been pretty good at predicting that top and this top. I have the beam indicator overlaid here, and so we're going to go over when the next top would be predicted over here. So I think you'll find this very interesting. So we'll dig into the details in this video. So let's dive in.
Trade Genius.
Guys, really quickly, we do have our specials running. We have that Fulcrum indicator, which has really been doing a great job. Here's an example of that on the hourly chart in Bitcoin. Just a lot of good moves based off of these signals. We also have these signals that help you to determine when to take the color change. You want to take it with the trend, so that's what they help you do. They also give you warnings when the trend might be slowing down or ending. So you'll learn all about that as you join and get the indicator, and we go over all that. So 12 months gets you the specials access. You want the Fulcrum indicator, special number 3, we'll get it done for you. So check it out, guys. I think it'd be very helpful and transformative for your trading. All right, let's dive into this video. So user on Twitter goes by the name of Russian Bear, and Brian in the chat room brought this up to my attention. And he said, look, if you take the bottom before the halving, these red lines are the halving. If you look at the bottom and you take the amount of time that transpired between the bottom before the halving to the halving, in this case, it's 373 bars. And if you take that and you project that out from the halving going forward, that's going to give you your cycle top. So, and it actually works out pretty good if you look at it from here. Okay, that takes us to the 5th of December 2013. I mean, that was very, very close to when the top was. I mean, you were darn near the top there within a few days. So I would say that's mission accomplished. Okay, so then if you jump over here, you got 544 bars. You project that out, and that lands you over here, which didn't quite get the top, but it's pretty close. It got you to within December 17th, I think, is a top, and that takes you out to January 7th. So I mean, you're within 20 days of a top there. So not bad, not bad at all. So the next one is 519 bars. All right, so let's go ahead and take another line. We'll clone this one and drag that over to the end of this over here. That gives us October 20. Let's get it exact. So October 18th, 2021. And if we take a look at the beam bands, now I've covered the beam bands in other videos. Beam bands is just another metric that you can use to measure based on the underlying instrument's price action. But it does a good job of the way it multiplies and looks at price action and volatility. It does a pretty good job of telling us when we're pressing up into cycle tops and also being at cycle bottoms. Especially as price develops, you'll notice the last few bottoms it's been pretty spot on as far as telling us where Bitcoin is just an absolute cycle bottom buy, and then you're expecting a very short amount of time at those levels, and then really not much price action below those levels at all, and then off we go. So if we take a look at this and we see that this is way out here at October 21, I mean, look, the cycles are pretty consistent, and I mean if we look at the other things like the cycle repeat graph, you'll notice that we have a similar area to project out for our cycle top. So this is the cycle repeat graph you've seen numerous times on our videos. You know, this takes us out to where that all-time high is, approximately October 23rd or so, right in there. You can zoom in actually a little more on that. And yeah, you can see here if we zoom in, October 23rd, $309,108 is our current cycle target. So if we look at that compared to what this is, pretty similar. October 18th, calling that out. Then you can draw, you can project out the how this would play out. Obviously, this line will gradually go up, and then starts to, as these cycle peaks get toward the end there, they tend to increase in how steep they are. So they stay pretty flat until we start to get closer, and then so you get something like this where It's like a gradual thing, and then it starts to step up, and then you get kind of one of these bumps. So that also takes us to, if it's a similar rise like in here, that takes us to that 300,000 mark too, which is kind of interesting, right? So pretty cool. I don't recall catching this particular metric before. I know we've measured some of the cycle moves from halving to halving and from top to halving, but not so much from the prior bottom. So anyway, I thought it was cool just to get a reminder of how cyclical Bitcoin is. And again, I really contribute that to the halving mechanism, making this thing so cyclical, because you know exactly how much production drops. The unknown is the demand cycle, but the demand cycle has been pretty consistent. And I think, like in anything else, when you have something that has value, I mean, obviously Bitcoin's gold 2.0, and then more and more people becoming accepting of that, especially larger money, you're just going to get another wave. A lot of these prior waves were retail driven, but now the price of Bitcoin and the scarcity of it is where it is at today. The larger money is getting into it because now they see it as a legitimate asset class. So you have big money, smart money, getting into Bitcoin and putting large assets into Bitcoin. So I don't think that this is going to stop, because we're getting now out of the early adoption phase into the mainstream phase. And that's that S curve that we've talked about, like you've seen with any other innovative product, whether it be the TV or the washing machine. You get that slow uptake and then it spikes really steeply. And you'll be able to profit from that just by owning Bitcoin, just being early to the party, which we still are. We're just getting out of that transition from early adoption into the mainstream. So pretty cool. I thought I would just pass that along. Another reminder of the upside potential that we have going forward from here on out. Okay, so this is all buy the dip territory from here on out. And cyclically, there isn't much in the way of dips after these halvings. So I mean, we should see a 40-50% drawdown at some point after a move up, but you just want to be a buyer of those because you're just going to make more money. And over the long haul, will outpace most of the altcoins over the long haul. Now, we'll have alt seasons that come and go, and you'll have these little spurts of where you can swing those, and that's fine. But I mean, if you're long term, Bitcoin's going to outperform them all long term. So that's the reality of the crypto markets. And so if you're just more of a hodl person, then you want to be into Bitcoin long term over anything else. All right, guys, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Please hit like and subscribe. If you'd like to join us in the chat rooms, head over to tradegenius.co and click on our packages over there. Otherwise, I will see you on the next video. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Trade Genius.